experiences in the prison, it was terrible. The prison system is so bad that for the first 3 months I was sleeping on the floor. There were no mats, no bed, we were sleeping on the floor. And I was only surviving on ration. There was nobody sending me anything, so I didn't take my bath for 3 months. Yes, unfortunately. Okay, at the time I came out of the prison, over 4 people died that week in my cell, just myself. And we're over 190 in the cell.
Oh, wow, that is breaking. Oh, wow, that is really breaking. Now, that face you saw is the face of Nicholas, a 26-year-old graduate, a photographer, and a keyboardist that was imprisoned for 10 months for resigning from his place of work. It's surprising. It's breaking. Indeed, it is. Indeed, it is. I'm sure you are shocked like I am shocked. It's at this point I welcome you to What is Breaking with A&K. My name is Ayabami, and then my colleague will be joining us in the course of subsequent production. And I will be taking you around some of the breaking events in Nigeria and across the world. Like we rightly saw at the initial stage of this video, the face of a young boy a young boy by name Nicholas, and that's his face on this screen. He's a 26-year-old photographer and a keyboardist. Is by name Nicholas. That's his picture while he was still working with Pesta Photo Studio, owned by one Mr. Oluwole Maika in Abuja. Pesta Photo Studio. I'm sure some of us that are familiar with Abuja and its environment will be familiar with Pesta Photo Studio. So now let me give you an insight to what actually transpired between Pesta Photo Studio and Mr. Nicholas. Mr. Nicholas actually worked for Pesta Photo Studio in Abuja for 6 years. I think he started while he was age 20. He's currently 26 by age now, and then he worked for one Mr. Oluwole Mike, who is the owner of Pesta Studio in Abuja. And after some while, recently decided to leave the job, and then he sent a text to his boss, Mr. Oluwole Mike, that is quitting his job, like he wants to resign his job. And as a result of that, he got into prison and he spent 10 months. That might sound so unimaginable. If you might sound so unimaginable, but I think he was in prison. He was incarcerated for 10 months, thanks to Hope Behind Bars, a law firm in Abuja that got hold of this news, and then they actually had to swing into action and had to get this young man out. That was when most of us knew this particular situation. I think it is surprising that we as a country, we still actually have to still treat ourselves as if we are slaves. I think because you have some level of power, or you have some level of, you are affiliated to some particular political affiliation, you think you probably can actually take justice into your hands. Now I'm talking about Pesta Studio, owned by Mr. Oluwole Mike. I'll be showing you some pictures and some videos to the effect as in the course of this production, and I will be giving you some insight into what really happened between Nicholas and Mr. Oluwole, which is not something that is palatable, because it's not something that we usually want to see in our society. I think Mr. Oluwole Mike is the owner of Pesta Studio, and then I think he actually took laws into his hand, and he charged Mr. Nicholas for intentional insult. That might sound strange. I've not heard that before, but that is what he was charged with. But it will surprise you to know that up till now, we have not seen the context of the text message that Mr. Mike Oluwole actually claimed Mr. Nicholas actually sent to him, that got him to get him into prison. Now let me give you an insight into this. I think Mr. Mike apparently is affiliated to a particular political party. I think the All Progressive Congress, according to what we heard, and I really feel like maybe that was instrumental into making him, probably he had some connection in the police, which made it easy for him to probably pick Mr. Nicholas up, and then they actually locked him up in detention for 2 days in Pape And then he was actually supposed to be charged to court. I think after the second day. Now the lawyer was transferred and they probably brought another one. Then actually he was actually given a bill of around 100,000, which he was not able to meet up, and then they actually had to return him from Papi to Kefi. That was where he spent 10 months, and I really feel the police did not did not treat this matter well, because I feel like it has become one too many of the police institution. Once you have probably you have an influence, and you can actually probably use them, and then they have turned themselves to be an instrument of political parties and political institutions, because I feel like the police is supposed to be for everybody and not for some set of people. But I think they didn't do well in this regard, because I feel like if somebody has said is charging somebody for intentional insult, you're supposed to probably have seen what the context of the text message, and then whatever text message would have been sent. I think it does not even warrant the fact that he should be in prison for 10 months. So I think this goes to tell us about the level of impunity in our society, which we actually condemn, because uh, the level of impunity is really so much that someone will just think about just imprisoning somebody for 10 months. Now, talking about the prison system now you would hear from the young man in a couple of minutes. No, let's just watch what he has to say.
When the police took me to the station, Moses with 3, I I was just pleading for them to forgive that I insulted him. Okay, I didn't know there was a theft allegation until he came in to say the day I resigned from work, he discovered his office phone was missing, and he has his customers' contact worth 1 billion naira at the phone. So then I'll have to pay for it. I was kept in the cell for 2 days before I was charged to the court at OBIdient court in Papi. When I was in court, I went to court. The first day we went to court, I pleaded not guilty, so I was granted bail. But there was no one to stand in as a shorty for me, so they remanded me. They took me to the prison carefully. The next time I went to court was November. That happened on the 17th of October, my first day in court. So the next day they took me to court was November 8th. At the time we went to court, they had already changed the judge. So this new one came in. This one did not even grant me bail. And then they took me back to the prison. And the next time I would go to court was on the 29th of January. 50,000. So they took me back to prison. And that was the last time I went to prison until August this month that I was released. It never took me to court again from 29th of January. My experiences in the prison, it was terrible. I didn't take my bath for 3 months. Yes, unfortunately. Okay, at the time I came out of the prison, over 4 people died that week in my cell, just myself. And we're over 190 in the cell. 190.
Oh, well, welcome back, and you can hear, as you heard from him, it is a mess in some of our correctional centers. Where he was kept, 4 people die. He said an average of 4 people die in a week. An average of 4 people die in a week. It could have been one of them, but I think our government still needs to probably check some of these correctional centers. They are supposed to be correctional centers. They are supposed to be rehabilitation centers. But at the point at which you have them stuck, the 190 people in a place, there's nowhere to sleep. They sleep on the bare floor. Then what are we correcting? You understand? We just eventually get them back into the system after they probably have exhausted their jail terms, and then they become worse than more than how they left. So I think the correctional centers should actually be correctional centers. It should not be places whereby you have people jam packed together, 190 people. That is so much, and I really feel like the judicial system is not doing enough in terms of prosecuting some of these cases, because you it will surprise you to know that some people have been there because probably a judge has gone on recess, or they have been probably have been adjourning the case for God knows when. So and then some are even there, they don't even have a cause. Then some of them don't know the reasons why they are there. So I think it is best if we actually have an improvement in our judicial system, whereby we can actually review some of these cases, because it will surprise you to know that the real criminals are not even in the prison. Now that bothers me. And then this brings to the fact that Mr. Nicholas actually spent 10 months for sending a text message to his boss because he wants to resign. It does not even make sense. So when you add those things together, you feel like, I think, the police, the judicial system failed Mr. Nicholas, because I felt like if the police had done their investigation well, they would have known that this does not warrant something to be jailed for. In my own opinion, I really don't know. So, but I feel like Oluwole Mike, I really think you did not do well at all, and I feel, as a matter of fact, people in Abuja are actually aware of this situation, and they have actually cancelled out Pesta Studio, particularly in Abuja. So I'm sure that most people are aware of what you do now, because how on earth would you explain that you, somebody that has worked for you for 6 years, wanted to resign, and then you thought about, the only thing you could think about is to imprison this young man? Where do you want him to start from? 10 months of his life? That's close to a year. You understand? I think it does not even portray whatever religion you practice. But I'm now, for crying out loud, I'm even hearing that this man is a religious leader in one of the biggest church in Nigeria. So I didn't want to attach this. As much as I don't want to attach it to your religion, I think it is what the man is, regardless of whatever religion he practices. I think that's what he is in his own. So I think it is high time that people too have to wake up, especially most job hunters. If you know you are a job hunter, you have to probably do your due diligence well before taking any job or any contract. Know who you want to work for. Know who your boss is. Don't It goes beyond just seeing a job offer online and then you apply and then you just start working. I think it's best you know who your employer is, know them well, so that you will not fall victim of this kind of Mr. Mike Oluwolis and then Mr. Nicholas situation. I think this is our time on what's breaking with A and K. So in Software Production, you will see my colleague. I will be doing justice to bringing you some of what is breaking in Nigeria and across the globe. Don't forget, you can actually keep sharing and subscribing to this channel, and then let me know what you feel about this Mr. Nicholas and Mr. Oluwole situation in the comment section. Thank you. That's my time.